Hello, I'm Thomas Kristensen, Chief Security Officer of Secunia. I will be telling a bit about Secunia's role within vulnerability intelligence and vulnerability management. Vulnerability research in Secunia is an important support to our vulnerability intelligence offerings. Vulnerability research as such is not a commercial offering from Secunia, but it's part of our role in the community so that we deliver something back. By delivering vulnerability intelligence, we live off the vulnerability research conducted by other people, and we want to give back to this ecosystem. Also, it's an important part of the training of staff at Secunia, a motivational factor for the people in the team who is sitting every day testing and verifying all the findings made by other vulnerability researchers to make sure that we provide proper, reliable, actionable vulnerability intelligence to our customers. The Secunia CSI is taking a radically different approach to this, where most of the other tools out there start out with doing an unauthenticated scan of a system to identify services running on hosts. The CSI is taking a completely different approach in that it only does authenticated scans, and the CSI is actually mapping all of the executables on the system and is correlating that to our database of software. And based on that, we are capable of detecting exactly which versions people got installed of each individual piece of software on the systems and report about the security state of it and the availability of patches. And this gives a very high degree of reliability and actionability of the findings from the Secunia Corporate Software Inspector. Today, the customers see this as complementary because there is a better understanding of the Secunia Corporate Software Inspector and its role in vulnerability management. Historically, this was different because people had a hard time seeing the difference between scanning a system unauthenticated and then doing the authenticated scan that we do with the Secunia Corporate Software Inspector. But today the awareness is a lot bigger about this, and customers, generally speaking, do know that they need to map all the installed applications on a system in order to do efficient patch management and vulnerability management. These take two different roles in our offerings, starting out with the Secunia PSI, which is actually a tool not targeted toward businesses but toward private individuals. It's again part of Secunia's commitment to the community and giving something back. So the Secunia Personal Software Inspector, the goal of that is to help private users monitoring their own systems, finding out all the software that they got installed on that, making sure that they can keep this up to date. Today the Secunia PSI even offers auto-updating. Auto-updating then helps taking out the pain of applying all the different updates, which can amount to easily 70-80 updates during a year for the private users. So with the PSI, vulnerability management for private users is all of a sudden something that's possible and something that has become easy for private users. Also, the Secunia PSI serves as branding for Secunia. Given its popularity, we can see now a very good response rate on that. In the other end of the offerings from Secunia, we have the Vulnerability Intelligence Manager, which is targeted toward larger businesses with dedicated security teams who work with vulnerability intelligence in a slightly different way than you would see with people who would conduct the software inspection of their systems. The Vulnerability Intelligence Manager is used to get information about all types of assets, whether it's appliances, endpoints, or other infrastructure systems. And the security teams take the information from the Vulnerability Intelligence Manager, do a risk assessment based on the advisories that they get from Secunia for every single piece of software or appliances that they're running, and give this information to the appropriate operations units within the organization, and they will then take appropriate actions to mitigate the vulnerabilities.